The Democratic Alliance leader has publicly criticized the African National Congress, ANC, their largest coalition partner in South Africa's government of national unity. Now, the DA feels the ANC failed to consult them properly on crucial bills, including health reform and land expropriation. The DA leader emphasized that if their ideas and solutions continue to be dismissed, they will be forced to reassess their position within the coalition. This development highlights the growing tensions between the DA and ANC, which could potentially impact the stability of the government. Now, the land expropriation bill, in particular, has been a contentious issue, with the DA opposing the ANC's proposal to amend the constitution to allow for land expropriation without compensation.
Recent weeks have made it increasingly clear that the ANC has lost interest in honouring its side of our relationship and statement of intent. Unfortunately, the ANC has taken to openly disrespecting coalition partners and undermining the very trust upon which a coalition agreement is built. If the reset is not possible and we remain unable to be able to play our part in the growth and jobs agenda, if our ideas, if our solutions are merely waved away with the hand of the National Democratic Revolution, then we too will have to reconsider our options and how to best serve South Africa in this situation. This bill will not stand, and we will not stand to watch this type of legislation being passed, not on our watch and not while we are part of government. And whatever mechanisms we have, both legal and political, to resolve this situation, we will do so.
Now, to discuss this, we're joined by Gabriel Crouse, a political analyst. Thank you so much for joining us on the news, Gabriel.
Greetings. Thank you.
Gabriel, how significant are the tensions between the DA and the ANC, and what impact will this have on the stability of South Africa's government of national unity? Hello, Gabriel.
Basically, the ANC and DA have very different pictures of how to take the country forward when it comes to one of the key rights enshrined in the Constitution, which is the right to own property. On the DA side, you have a very traditional position, the same as in Japan or Korea or
Hello, Gabriel.
if it pays compensation. That's the DA's position. That's, I think, what the Constitution also guarantees. But what the ANC has done is that they have signed a law which, well, President Ramaphosa, who is from the ANC, has signed a law which says that the government can take people's land without compensation. And the kind of situation that the law spells out is, for example, if that land is not currently being used, someone is moved abroad and they're figuring out what to do with it, or they bought it and they want to sell it at a profit in some time. If it's vacant and the purpose is to sell it for a profit, then it can be taken for no compensation. So it's a big clash between the two parties. For now, they're looking to stay together, but there is a dispute that has been launched in terms of their coalition agreement, and we'll have to see how that plays out. I do think that this might be the beginning of the end of this coalition, although it could take some time to unwind.
Are you speaking of, if the land expropriation bill passes, are you speaking about that? Will that be the end of the coalition of national unity?
No, to be clear, the bill has passed. It is now an act of law signed by the president last week. The thing that will take some time is to see how this dispute is handled. One of the aspects is that the DA and others, including an organization I run called IRO Legal, are looking to challenge the act in court. And at the outset, those challenges are going to be called facial challenges. So you just say, look, the law, if you read it, it's not good. But I think the challenges that will be the most important possibly will be case-by-case challenges. So although the bill has become a law, you're quite right that it hasn't yet really been implemented. There's no one who has had their home or business taken away without compensation yet. When that happens, the moment that actual property is taken without compensation, I think that the coalition will fall apart. And what the DA has said is that because their minister currently sits in the position to oversee that process, they want to stay in power to try and make sure it doesn't happen. But they don't have full control. The bill allows for expropriating authorities, including municipalities. Local governments can try and trigger expropriation without compensation. And I think depending on how that plays out, when the first people are actually taken off their land, I think that will be the end of the end.
While they have, decided to stay in power, are there steps that the ANC can take to improve collaboration with the DA and other coalition partners to prevent further political fallout?
I think so. One of the allegations that the DA made is that their minister wrote to President Ramaphosa of the ANC saying, we're very worried about this bill. We believe that parts of it are unconstitutional. And he wrote back saying, I checked it out. I think it's okay. And then suddenly the next day, basically, he signed the thing without warning them that he was going to do so. And what's worse, the allegation is that the information was leaked to people in the department, but not to the minister, somewhat rubbing his nose in it. So I think if the ANC wants to improve the relationship, they need to address those allegations. If they're true, what the ANC needs to do is change its partnership and go from doing things behind people's backs to playing with an open set of cards and saying, look, if we're going to do something, we'll give you advance warning that we're going to do it. We will allow meetings between the president and the various ministers to discuss this. We'll ventilate the issues. This is a democracy, and the way things are supposed to work in a coalition, and there are many international examples, is that you find compromise by talking about it openly and sincerely. And those conversations can be tough.
Okay.
But it's better to have those conversations than to go around partners' backs and spring them with surprises.
Absolutely, Gabriel. Well, thank you so much for your time and for speaking to us on this.
Thank you for having me.